Hello and welcome back to another episode of Absolute BSS, the Casualpetitive look at Battle Spirits Saga, a card named by Bandai Namco. I'm sleepy. I ruined the intro, but you all know what this is. Welcome back.
Keep it going. Keep it going.
It's good to have you. And joining me this week, as always, is Eric. How you doing, Eric?
Hi, everyone.
And of course, special guest, friend of the show. Probably like what, 5th or 6th appearance? It's Andrew Evans. How you doing, Andrew?
Long-time listener, first-time caller. I would like to start by saying I think I'm your bad luck charm, Cam. I feel like the past couple times we've been on here together, I've caused you to mess up the intro.
I'm just distracted by having such a intimidatingly good Battle Spirits player on our episodes. I think that's really what it comes down to.
I'm sure Angel will be really thankful you said that about him.
Oh boy.
Yeah, Angel couldn't make it today. He's dealing with some medical issues, so unfortunately.
Yeah. Like, I mean, he's okay. I don't want everyone to.
Yeah, he's fine. He's fine.
Yeah. He's not like in a hospital somewhere, but no, he's just dealing with some personal stuff and a lot of work again, as always. So we miss him, but I'm sure we'll get him back on here soon. So thanks to Andrew for coming on here because we've got some exciting stuff to talk about. We are deep in the set 4 meta, and we're at the beginning of the Grand Tours starting up and a competitive season for 2024. But before we get into that, just want to touch base with everybody and just catch up, see what everyone's been playing. Right before this, a little behind the scenes sneak peek, or behind the scenes, whatever. Andrew and Caleb Albert were playing some Star Wars Unlimited. If you want to speak to that at all, Andrew.
Yeah, so we've played a little bit on like TTS, just kind of like playing and having some fun. But there was like 8 people in the room while we were trying to play, so like just like noisy and crowded. So like this was like the first time that like we've actually get to like sit down in person play. So he didn't get to like come down last week. He said he wanted to come down because my birthday was last week,
Mm-hmm.
and he went decided to come down this week and just kind of hang out. He went and played in my Battle Spirits locals yesterday,
Nice.
and we just chilled and kind of played some card games today. So I think he's a fan of it. I may have converted another person, so trying to get
Oh
the,
yeah.
the Star Wars scene popping off. But
Yeah.
uh, no, it was fun games. I gave him, if you guys know kind of anything about the meta right now, I gave him a Sabine, which is an insanely good aggro deck.
Yeah.
He's been I think he enjoyed that, and I played some Boba Fett, so some pretty good games, and I think he's got a good grasp on it. But he's an insanely talented card player, so
Yeah.
I'm sure whatever game I put in front of him, he'll be able to catch on pretty quick. But it was
Yeah,
a fun little couple days.
That's
that
awesome.
Sabine deck looked like it did quite a bit of damage just from watching a little bit of your game
Yeah.
there. Fast.
Yeah, there's a couple cards that just say like for one resource I'll take like a quarter of your health. So it's
Jeez.
Yeah.
it can get a little rough.
That math is mathin', if you ask me. That's good
Yes.
shit.
Yes, it is.
Well, cool. Eric, what have you been up to? What have you been playing?
So I think I mentioned this last time, but it might have been right before I went. I also taught somebody how to play the Star Wars card game. They purchased the 2-player starter deck, and we played a little bit. And I decided to go ahead and purchase one for myself. So
That's awesome.
I'm currently hanging out at my parents' house. I've just been hanging out with them for the week.
That's fun.
But it's waiting for me at home in my mailbox when I get back there.
Ooh. Yeah, we'll
So-
definitely have to get some games in at some point.
Yeah, that game is fun.
It is fun.
I do like it, even though I have my hesitations about it being a Fantasy Flight game.
Yeah.
I'll at least have the starter deck, and maybe I'll buy some singles for whatever deck I want to build, and maybe stop it there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
We'll
got
see.
2 boxes, so I definitely have some extra commons and uncommons for you.
Okay, sweet.
Because playsets are only 3 cards for this one, so that's pretty nice. It's pretty affordable to throw a deck together.
Until you start playing Darth Vaders that are $75
Yeah,
for regular rarity. Yeah.
Yeah, I opened 2 boxes and didn't get a single Green Vader, so might not ever. But I did see some spoilers for set 2 already, which is exploring the Outer Rim in the Star Wars universe, which is like some of my favorite stuff. So like Mando,
Pretty
Cad
hot.
Bane. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be sick. So yeah, that's cool. Star Wars Unlimited. Yeah, it's fun to open. It's fun to play. I think the mechanics are really good. Even if you're not a fan of Star Wars, you like might gel with that kind of game. But if you are a fan of Star Wars, there's really no point to not pick it up. I think they nailed it with the art direction and like the leader system, like the deck building mechanics in that game. Super cool. Very, very cool.
Even though Chewbacca looks like Grimace from
Chewbacca definitely, yeah, had some bad work done. But yeah,
The Clone Wars really messed him up.
yeah, man, yeah, Wookiees have been
He's
through
seen
it,
some
dude.
shit.
Yeah. Oh boy. But yeah, besides Star Wars Unlimited, any other card games y'all have been up to? I personally haven't. I was just wondering.
Not really, honestly.
Yeah.
Just hanging out. I really want to pick up a couple of those Divorced Dads starter decks so we can try that game out.
Oh my gosh, I would love to stream some Divorced Dads.
Yeah, I think we got to do it. I
that
feel like
looks
it's really
awesome.
on brand for
It
our channel to
is.
do that.
Totally.
So, another game too that's like coming through the pipeline right now, that Caleb was just kind of informing me about while he was down here was it's called Altered TCG.
Yeah, I backed
Uh,
Mm,
that.
yeah, that one looks cool.
yeah, he's invested into it as well.
Cool.
He's going to be getting some product, but it's also going to be at Gen Con this year.
Oh,
So
Oh, that's
for those
exciting.
of you guys coming up for Gen Con, definitely something worth like stop by and checking out. I definitely will. Me and Caleb talked. We're gonna try to get some games in of it and
Yeah.
kind of see what it's all about. But it seems like really cool. Like getting like the unique one of one cards that you can like play in your
yeah.
deck. Like
Yeah.
it seems like kind of a cool aspect. So
The
Yeah.
I
gameplay is
also
like
like
you're
how you
on
can
like a
like sell the
journey,
game.
right?
Yeah,
Like
so the
Yeah,
gameplay is
it's kind of like a
there's
race.
there's like 5 little areas. And your leader starts on one side and your companion starts on the other, and each turn you're playing units to either aid in your leader's journey or your companion's journey or both. And then if you can control more resources in each of those spots, you move your pucks towards each other, and when they meet or cross, you win the game. Is that right?
I believe so. I
Yeah.
haven't got to play it yet, but from what he was explaining to me, like that sounds correct.
Yeah. So it's like a dueling game without life points. And I always really
Wait,
appreciate games that do stuff like that. I'm looking forward to it.
yeah.
But yeah, the uniqueness of it and like the whole sell of it, right, is that card names can have the same name, but they might be completely different stats and they might be completely unique to you. And it was like the most funded Kickstarter card game, I think. It like broke records or something? It made a lot of
From what
money.
I've heard, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So
It's also like there's no like combat. It's like
right.
the whole game is designed to be about like a race, so it's not like you attack and defeat units. It's like none of the game mechanics are revolved around like contact or combat.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's neat. It's like units have like affinities for one of 3 different types of zones, right? So like forests, mountains, or water or whatever. And as long as the zones also on the board have certain icons, so you're trying to defeat your opponent in those specific zones to move your puck or something like that. So it's all about just card values on the cards and then buffing up those numbers. But yeah, no actual like combat, and I think that's really neat. Like the art is beautiful. It reminds me of like Runeterra. It's just very vibrant and like watercolory, and yeah, I'm looking forward to Altered. So that's cool that Caleb's also into that, because I was like backer 4,000 something, and I feel like I backed it pretty early on, and then it just went crazy. So yeah, I'm excited to get some product and play some.
I'll
some
definitely pick up a deck or two at Gen Con if I can.
Yeah.
I feel like every time I say that about a card game at Gen Con, it sells out. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
because I wasn't even really that interested in Lorcana, but I was like, oh, maybe I'll pick up a deck. And then when I got there and saw how crazy it was, I was like, never mind.
Yeah. I think I just saw on Twitter actually before we started that production has begun on Altered. So like they're already like cutting sheets.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because I believe they said they wanted to get backers their product by sometime in the summer, I think. It was like a quick turnaround.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah, don't quote me specifically on that. I don't have the information pulled up, but like,
No, I'm gonna quote you. I'm gonna be like, Cameron from the Absolute BSS podcast said that my product would arrive, and what the fuck? Come
yeah,
on.
I already have it. I've already unboxed it. No, I'm just kidding. I don't. That's a total lie. But yeah, keep an
Cam
eye out
is
for
actually
Altered.
running shipping and fulfillment for it. No, I'm just kidding. He's all running it all out of his shed.
Oh man,
He
that
has
makes me nervous.
thousands of boxes.
That is
hoarding
true,
them.
but not of Altered.
Getting
Yeah.
pizza delivered.
Yeah,
Someone bringing you
Yeah.
pizza to your work shed.
right on my
Yeah.
French porch.
Yeah, on the French porch.
Yeah,
Speaking of Gen Con, actually, right, really quick before we get into the meat and potatoes of the episode,
yeah.
I guess all three of us are going to be at Gen Con, huh?
Hell yeah.
So, come,
Oh, Eric,
come
I
find
gotta
us.
pay you for that.
It's a
I gotta pay you
it's a
for my kid.
15-minute drive for me, so I have no excuse not to.
Yeah. Hey, but I'm going to all 4 days this year.
Yeah, I'm so
the first
excited
time,
for
so
that.
I cannot wait. And yeah, day one, I think I'm going to be trying to get all the fun stuff before it sells out.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah.
And
Day one
then-
is shopping.
the rest of it, we'll have to see what happens with Battle Spirits if there's going to be a Battle Spirits event. I'm hoping there will be. I would like to sign up for one.
Yeah. Me too.
It
And
is
then-
after the Evangelion collab release, so hopefully they'll do like maybe like
Yeah.
a Eva, one of those Eva only events, maybe.
I
I'd be
think
down
that'll
for
be
that.
fun.
Also,
Yeah.
there's no cash prizing anymore, right? For like the grand open, so
Right.
Yeah.
potentially, I mean, they did like a One Piece Treasure Cup last year.
Yeah.
They did like a Digimon regional. So I wouldn't say it's out of the realm of possibilities to do like a Gen Con Battle Spirits Grand Open, maybe.
That would be so
Ooh.
cool.
But they're already doing
get-
one in Chicago, so I don't know. But
True.
I just thought it would make sense, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
That would
Personally.
That would be really nice. I'd be really into that. But we'll have to see what Papa Bandai has cooking for us. Hopefully something fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, come find us while we're there. We're going to be there. I'll have Absolute BSS tokens on me. So if you
That was so
don't
fun
have
last
any
year.
of those yet,
Just
Yeah,
passing those out.
just come find us. We'll hand you some.
Yeah.
Cam and I, we still have to figure this out, but we're going to be showcasing some games that we've prototyped. So
Yeah.
you got to come find us in the first, whatever it's called, the first playtest hall or whatever it is. I have a feeling that we're really underprepared for this, but it's going to be trial by fire. So
Yeah. I mean, that's the best way to learn, dude, is to just
Yeah.
do it. But I'm
Yeah.
super excited about that. I think it'll be
Yeah.
a really good experience for both of us. And then we'll
Hell
go back next year and we'll do it all again. But yeah, I definitely want to be talking about the Eva collab set. We've seen a little bit of the spoilers from the starter deck. So maybe next week we'll dive into some Eva cards. But this week we are recapping the Texas Battle Spirits tournament. What was this? Is this the pre-Grand Tour? What did they call this one?
The Preseason Grand Tour.
Preseason Grand Tour. Cool.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just going to turn it over to you, Andrew. How was Texas?
So I'm a huge fan of Texas anyways. Like I'd go to Texas at least once a year, mainly like 4th of July for my girlfriend's birthday.
Oh, that's
do all of
fun.
your
But
exes
this
live there?
was all of my exes, like basically I'm George Strait. But other than basically that adventure, this one was more of kind of like a business trip, it felt like. It was kind of a birthday trip mixed with like battle spirits, so I kind of took it a little bit more seriously as far as like preparing for like the game and stuff.
Mhm.
But I think overall for a preseason event, it was a pretty good turnout. I mean, we had 45 players and people from all over. I had a few people from Bulldog and my locals go, so got to catch up with a bunch of friends. I think all in
Nice.
all, it worked out for the majority of us. So, pretty good event. Play did a really good job. They were really transparent about the pricing and like made sure they gave us a lot of information on like how the travel vouchers and stuff worked. So
That's nice.
I think all in all, it was a really good experience.
Sweet. How many rounds was it?
6 rounds.
Cool. Very cool.
Wow. And no top cut.
And no top
so
cut.
you guys-
All in one day.
You guys were
huh?
done quick.
No, nope, no top cut. We were done in like 5 hours,
Wow.
I think. Yeah,
That's-
like 5 hours.
That's nice. And best of 3, right?
Yes.
Cool.
Best of 3.
Yeah, that's really nice. Like the idea of just getting it all done in one day, especially like if it does end up happening at um, a venue like Gen Con, that's one day out of 4 that you have to worry about prep, worry about getting there, worry about parking. Like if you're
Hmm.
just going to Gen Con for Battle Spirits, that makes it really nice. But if you're going for the whole time, like us, like that's really encouraging to know that you can
Oh yeah.
really focus in on that one day and lock in and play your Battle Spirits and then enjoy the rest of the con. So, um, yeah. Tell us about the field? Like what decks were there that you were seeing?
Um, so I will admit that I was like a non-believer in this meta because of Hydra.
Uh huh.
So that's pretty much like what I like went into it like expecting to see.
Mm-hmm.
But every color was represented. I saw some yellows. I think there was like one or two green players that I saw.
That's cool.
There was a decent amount of white, a good amount of red, a good amount of blue, obviously, and a good amount of purple. So it was a very diverse field. And some of the brews I saw that people were just trying with like these different colors and stuff was pretty interesting to see. Just like the different tech cards and kind of what they thought would be best fit into the meta. So um, I think everything was pretty well represented, and I think that's reflected across the other Grand Tours as well. Um, I think Hydra's only won one of the Grand Tours that have happened, and there's
Yeah.
been four.
Yeah.
So I think that shakes out to be a pretty healthy meta in
Absolutely.
my. But I it's kind of like the same thing almost with Axe Spider though. With what I noticed is because everybody has like tech for Hydra, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
you always have to like respect the card.
Yeah.
Maybe it does inhibit deck building a little bit, but I think your removal options for the Hydra are also good removal options for the other big bads of the format, I guess.
Yeah.
So it honestly doesn't hurt your deck building near as much as it did like during the like Depths Axe Spider meta. So
That's encouraging to hear because that's kind of where we landed with it. I think we've been talking about it over the last couple of weeks, obviously, because it's on everybody's mind. Um, and so I'm prepping for the webcam tournament in May, and it's like I'm slotting in cards against Hydra, but I'm also justifying them as like, well, this also bounces Feng Huang, this also bounces Maduke, like, yeah, like specifically Dream Bomb. I think I'm talking about mostly. Yeah, it that's so encouraging that there is removal there, and it does work for more than just one card, so you're not wasting a spot in your deck building. It does feel healthy, like you said.
mhm.
Well,
I agree.
we've got a few decks. Are these from the top 4? Are these the top 4 that we're looking at today?
Yes, we have a purple deck from fourth, a blue deck from third, and then the rainbow deck, Smag Pile in first place.
Cool. And then we'll also be talking about an Ira deck in second.
Yeah, we don't have the list for that one, but we can just chat about Ira a little bit.
Very cool. Well, sweet. Yeah. So I've got the fourth place deck pulled up right here on the screen. It's been up. This is Go Palladian. Yeah, Eric, you wanna start with this one and kind of go over what we're looking
Yeah.
at here?
So this is a pretty cool like purple serpent kind of build, but it also obviously, if you couldn't guess by the name, also has the Imperial Night God Avelo Palladion.
I love this.
Palladian. I don't know how to say his name exactly, but um, I think a lot
We
of
call him
people
Daddy.
Yeah.
Daddy, yeah, it has Shadow Daddy. Um, a lot of people got really pumped about this card when it was first spoiled, and then I feel like it kind of fell out of favor kind of quickly because he was a little expensive. But I'm really excited to see him being used here. Um, there's a lot of removal in here. We've got Core Theft, Double Deadly, Deadly Balance. The cheeky little one of Leaf Wolf is really fun. I
Yeah.
really like that. But Andrew, well, this is Zach's deck, right? So Zach ended up
Yeah,
in fourth
he's the
place with
one who
this.
played it.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
so
you
so me and him built the deck together, but he's the one who played it.
okay? Sweet. Tell us a little bit about it then, since you assisted with the
So
process of putting it together.
majority of like the masterminding and stuff was Zach. So he's the one who pretty much adjusted ratios, um, kind of got the core of the deck together. The main parts that I did was I tested into it like 1,500 times probably in the past month, and I also um, was just kind of like reading through um, because I live such like this depressing life and of going through BSS DB and trying to find answers. Just like reading through cards, and I came across Palladian, and I was like, oh, like I mean, this card could be like cool. And then like I like always kind of I kept it on the back burner for like a couple days, and then like we started testing, and we were testing things like Dread Knight Nemesis
Hmm.
and Maduke, and Maduke just felt like a little too slow. Um, Dread Knight Nemesis was like doing fine, and then we were like, wait, if we play Doubly Deadly, we will target the Nemesis, so the Nemesis destruction happens first. So the Nemesis has to use his Wind Destroyed, and then that gives him like such a good opportunity to play around the Doubly Deadly because they can destroy a single symbol spirit, and then the
Mm.
Doubly Deadly can't clear two single symbol spirits. So if they do that with the Nemesis destruction, they can't use the Nemesis destruction to like kill your Hydra or something.
Ah.
They have to do like a 3 or 4 card combo pretty much to like clear the Hydra. So you're like, okay, like we can't do this because like that's too easy for like good players to play around. So we need to figure something else out. And that's when I like pretty much gift wrapped a box and handed Zach the Palladian card. I was like, so here's this card I've been looking at, and the message I always send to like people, like when I like find a card that like is interesting, I just say, "Is this bad?" And usually the first answer I get is yes. So it's always just kind of like the okay, well then I guess I'm an idiot. And then we play test it, and it's like, no, actually, hold on, I might be a genius.
Let
Wait.
him cook.
So we we
Cam, do you
play
want to
tested
read
it.
Palladian really quick?
Yes, I would love to
Yeah.
because I'm just like smiling ear to ear. This thing is so cool. And
Yeah,
you're
it
right.
just clicked for it just clicked for me what this is going to do against
Yeah.
the current meta. So
So
go
this
ahead.
is set 2. It's a 7 cost, 3 reduction purple shadow spirit. At level 1, 2, and 3, when destroyed, select one of your opponent's spirits, remove 7 of its cores, and place them into their reserve. And at level 3, during either end step, if one or more of your spirits has been destroyed this turn, draw 2 cards at the start of the step. Good night. That's
Yeah.
really good.
Um, the big thing with it, so the level 2 and like level 3, or like the level 3 effect, like doesn't come up very much.
Right.
Is like
Yeah.
the downside of purple, right? Is like you don't have like an efficient like core ramp system,
Yeah.
unless you start playing off color. So it is kind of expensive to get up to that mark of putting it up to I think it's 6 cores for its level
Yeah.
3.
6
It
cores,
is.
9k at
Um,
level 3.
yeah. So that part doesn't come into play too much, but your playability with the card to where you can just say, okay, I'm gonna play this doubly deadly. I'm gonna clear 2 single symbols, but then I can also remove 7 cores from your Hydra.
Yep.
And then that puts it into a whole nother range of effects that you can use. Either A, you remove the 7 cores and you just kill it straight up,
Yep.
or B, I can take 7 cores off of it, and then I have a really efficient core theft that I can follow up with.
Right.
Or
Yeah.
I still have that option of playing Deadly Balance. And I don't
Yep.
even necessarily have to like use it to do that. Like if you core up your Hydra to play around core theft or something like that, I can use the Palladian to like clear another spirit and leave you wide open for a Deadly Balance play. It just like gives you a lot of like versatility into the deck. Um, so you can like single out your main target of what you're trying to remove. So he's an insanely good tech card. I
Is
think Zach found a
unreal.
lot of success with him. I've been tortured by playing against my own monster that I've created, and yes,
I could
but
also
shout
see
out to
like. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
okay. Oh, I was gonna say shout out to Zach. Like he's such an amazing player, such an amazing guy. One of my really good friends in the community. Um,
And he loves
yeah,
purple.
we
I
got
know
to
that.
Oh yeah, we got to stay up till like 3:30 in the morning the night before the tournament, so probably like unhealthy, but just like so like honestly like excited to play and like excited to like be with your friends and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's just I couldn't have went to like a better guy to be able to pilot that deck and showcase what it was really about. So I got the unfortunate honor of playing against him in round three
Oh
at table
man.
Mhm.
one. So we that was pretty much it. I was playing very good the first two rounds, and then my deck decided to do high roll deck things and not see any of my stuff. So,
What'd you
but
play? I don't think
played
I
it as good.
asked you.
Oh, I played Hydra. We'll
Okay.
we'll go over that list in a second because
Okay.
it's the same as Benny's.
Oh, cool. Cool. Cool.
But
Cool.
yep. So yeah, that's pretty
So,
much my my take on the purple deck.
so the worst case scenario as well, you could just have the Palladion out and like potentially sack it to the Hydra when they swing with the Hydra. You'd mill 7, but like maybe you um, remove the cores from the Hydra, or
You
to
take
your
it with
point,
you
Mhm.
for sure.
something else, and then it allows you to deadly balance. So I really like that.
Yeah, the
Um,
versatility is way more than I ever could have thought when we first looked at this card back in set two.
yeah, it's
It's
great.
a, it's really good too because like for the decks to play like Ira and like things along that sorts, like as soon as they blow it up with Hydra,
Ooh,
you take 7 cores off the Ira. As
Yeah.
soon as they take it out with Nova, you take 7 cores off the Nova. Like it just plays into like
wow.
a lot of really good things in the meta. Even against like the mirror match, like if somebody's playing Maduke, okay, I'm gonna strip your Maduke 7 cores and you're gonna lose.
Mm,
Like there's
Right.
just a lot of different things that you can do with it. And there's like also like a lot of other like cool cards that Zach was like putting in like the Hakuja, the wizard Hakuja. I can't remember his full name.
Yeah. Hakuja the
yeah.
Wizard.
It's just like it's like a really efficient like 4 drop that has curse at level 1 and 2, and then when destroyed at level 2, you remove a core from something. So it's like really relevant. It's a Beldegor target. Um, Removing the core can actually be like very beneficial to you in a lot of scenarios, is what we found out. So
Yeah.
it makes it where not only are you having to play around things like core theft or anything, but when that guy hits the board, you also have to play around that. So you don't just like get a free spirit just taken out because you had to clear his board to try to get through for damage. So um,
Serpents are where I would go if I played purple. I just think they look cool, they synergize well together, and like they are just what purple does, right? It's curse, core
mhm.
removal, draw. Like serpents are awesome, and this build looks so fun.
Oh yeah, the Shaz Snake's an MVP. The
Always.
sideboard is crazy.
Yeah. Let me
So
scroll up and show the sideboard.
the unfortunate part about testing with Zach is Zach knows some of the cards that we were playing in our deck.
Right.
So you'll notice the Feral Slash and
Yeah.
Counter Sword and yep, just other things. Counter Sword is because like once we play like the Heart Princess Pollen, try to give like some more Hydra raid targets.
Yeah.
He just plays Counter Sword and bounces the Hydra back to the top of the deck, and then I'm just like really crying. Where he just feral slashes all the nexuses I need. It's congrats to him for mind gaming me into thinking that I could beat this deck, and then basically just beat the crap out of me in round three. But
That's
Can you
amazing.
can you tell us a little bit about the one of Leaf Wolf?
that is Zach. That's his like favorite card. Leaf Wolf
That's
is
cool.
probably the best purple card that you guys have never heard of. So like what it does, right? If you have like the big core theft play, right, to where you can like dump your hand, you can take them because all those cores go to the trash, right? So if you take it to trash and they don't have enough cores to play the ice shield, sometimes the Leaf Wolf is all you need to get in for that last little bit of chip damage.
Oh,
Because if they have like the ice shield, so you swing, core theft their guy, take them down to like 1 or 2 cores, right? Because they didn't play around it correctly. Then they ice shield, and you only have one more guy to attack. So they're like, okay, I'll survive with one. I can potentially do something to come back or stabilize next turn. You just play the Leaf Wolf, and it's like, hey, by the way, uh, you don't have an answer for this now because now you don't have cores for any removal options, and I can get in to take those last 2 life.
That is
So
devious.
It's just a really good card to extend plays. It can
Wow.
also just be like a really clutch blocker. Like if you need to like come in and play your Leaf Wolf, and then somehow basically Leaf Wolf turns into like a 1 for 2 trade because you can doubly deadly your Leaf Wolf, or you
Yep.
can just do like all sorts of like crazy stuff basically. He's just like a really efficient way to get like another spirit on board to either be aggressive with or just come in to be a defensive blocker.
Oh yeah,
That's
I
that's the
love Leaf
thing.
Wolf.
Yeah.
It's a great card.
The main
Oh
deck
yeah.
here, it's 16 different cards, but all of them can do so many different things in a bunch of different combinations. Like this is just so well rounded. Like the more I look at it, the more I'm just like, damn. The
I've
one of
also
Leaf
been
Wolf is so cool.
I've also been seeing Amethyst Sanctuary pop up quite a bit recently. I
Yeah.
feel like
hmm
is that just to get a little bit of extra value out of killing your stuff?
We call that nut curve, is the best way to put it.
Oh, okay.
So what that basically means is like you get really aroused when you can just play like Amethyst Sanctuary to extend your like for one to extend your reductions.
Yeah.
So you
Mm,
can go like turn one like play like Rotting Swamp or something. Then like turn two, you can play Amethyst Sanctuary and Dragonaga Assassin, and you can swing and like draw a card. And now you have 3 reduction established for super cheap because you don't have like a lot of efficient ways to ramp cores like we talked about.
Yeah.
It's more or
mm,
less just getting out the fast reduction symbols so you can get like your Black Lance online super early, so
Yeah.
you can
yeah.
get the Palladian out for 3. So just being able to extend that, plus it allows you to cycle. So against like decks like Hydra, like when Hydra hits the board, you're on a clock, right?
Hmm.
So what your Amethyst Sanctuary does is it gives you a little bit more time to like cycle through your deck to find the answers better, because it's really efficient for just the one core. So if
Yeah.
they kill one of your spirits, and also like you can do like multiple triggers on it, right? So if I play like Doubly Deadly is like the example I'll keep using, I can kill my own spirit, and then I can trigger my Amethyst Sanctuary, top check. Okay, I don't want this card. I can discard it. You kill your 2 spirits. I can top check again because that's a separate destruction, and then I can see basically what card if I need that top card, so it can help me dig to like Deadly Balance earlier, and help me dig to Black Lance that helps me see more cards. Like it's just a really efficient option as to ways to like cycle through your deck and find the answer a lot quicker.
Got it.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got Rotting Swamp and Amethyst Sanctuary down, they swing with Hydra, you pop a Shaznake, you look at the top card, you find your Dream Bomb or whatever, you draw it with the Rotting Swamp, you bounce their Hydra, like it just seems crazy good.
Yeah.
Um, I've
Wow.
actually been playing with Amethyst Sanctuary in a Swift deck as well. And one of the reasons
hmm
for that is to give me purple on board so that I don't get, so that way
Lighthouse.
Seabed Lighthouse doesn't give me a bad day.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because you love
Cool.
those purple spells.
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely gonna play test this deck. This deck
Oh
looks
yeah.
like a lot of fun. I honestly don't even. It's one of those decks when you look at it, you're like, it's perfect. It doesn't need any changes.
Yeah.
Like
It looks
I'm looking
so
at it, and I'm
Yeah.
like,
fun.
I don't think there's anything I'd change. It looks amazing. I really want to try it out.
Yeah.
From a person who has played it firsthand and played against it firsthand, it is a very, very fun deck to play. It's like kind of one of those decks where like you draw your opening hand and it just feels like very hard to like brick. Like it feels
Yeah.
very
Wow.
consistent.
That's a good feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the word, right? Consistency. Like it definitely looks very consistent. Love it.
But yeah.
Love that a
I
lot.
Well,
made sure I made sure Caleb had a lot of fun playing against it while he was down here these past few days.
That's awesome.
should we should we move on to Spicy Water Snake Man?
I
This
think
was
so.
third place deck piloted by Benny, who was unfortunately not able to join us today. He last minute had to cancel for some scheduling conflict stuff. But Andrew, this is the same build that you were playing. So luckily, we do have somebody who can
Right.
talk through the deck with us. Um, so I guess yeah. Do you want to just take it away and walk us through the deck and your experience with it and what the key cards were?
Sure. So the big thing like with the deck was it's the combination of people who helped like derive this deck and make bring it into fruition. So Shout out to like Dango. Shout out to Zach for helping me play test. Shout out to Tyler. Um, and pretty much just kind of helping us like perfect the list. We had something going along these lines, and it's just been like ratio adjustments and meta calls,
Hmm.
which is how we kind of came to this ending, I guess, list. Like the elephant main board was like kind of one of the meta calls and stuff we made. So Andy Rizzo played this deck in Mexico as well. So the same exact list. They just kind of messed up posting the list because I think they showed he had like six deadly balance and like
Oh,
core
jeez.
thefts and stuff. Yeah, like just some like random stuff. But either way, so yeah, this is Hydra. This is the man of the format, and this is kind of the best option we felt suited for to take home like a Pro Tour invite, which was our main goal of this event. Um, my team that I went with down here was Zach, and he was on purple,
Hmm.
and then it was Ben Norwood and Colin Kaiser. So Colin took Hydra, Benny took Hydra, I took Hydra, Zach took purple. But all in all, I think the deck like really, really performed very well. We wanted to maximize like the efficiency with the deck.
Hmm.
So that's why we kind of went with the 4-star bless, 4 strong draw, just to give it some draw power.
Hmm.
Um,
How did
we
Pollen
went
perform for you?
Pollen actually wasn't too bad.
That's good.
Okay.
I have actually grown to just like that card.
It's your favorite
Um,
card.
yes, there's a Travi Dead posted a video on YouTube, and basically like what he describes in that video is like it doesn't matter what card gets milled, you shouldn't care about it. Basically, just pretend like that card is on the bottom of your deck. So
Yeah,
kind of like rolling with that philosophy and like
Yeah.
that
going
mindset
through and like playing
has to
Pollen,
help.
it makes it to where that card feels like a little bit better, honestly.
It's
Mm,
like
Um,
ancient draw, right? Like you still get to add. Well, I mean, I guess ancient draw gets you two also, but if you
yeah,
don't hit what you're looking for, those cards just go to the bottom. I guess is what
exactly.
I'm equating. But yeah, yeah, like that's a good way to look at it. That's a very good point. I like that philosophy.
So with Pollen, we also played like the Impaler Forest,
Mm-hmm.
which was basically just like a really efficient option as to like recurring the cards that you do mill off Pollen. And it also honestly kind of helped me cope throughout the day too, because it's like, oh, I milled a Hydra. Well, I got an Impaler Forest off of Pollen, so I guess I'll see Hydra again in like a turn or two.
and for the
So
mirror match, right?
correct,
Oh yeah.
yes. So Impaler Forest is like really good, especially into like purple, because like I can just like play my elephant. Oh, now you have to deal with my elephant. Okay, elephant's dead. I'll Impaler Force, bring back my elephant, and I just consistently ramp and keep
Oh
digging for
God.
Hydra and just make him answer it like every turn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just like things like that. But also just like be
Oh.
able to bring back your Hydra, or if you're playing against like decks where you need to go and try to like deck them out, I can recycle like the mill frogs, just kind of everything like that. So just gives you a lot of versatility, especially into a meta where not every color is running Nexus Destruction. It's
Yeah.
mainly just red. So it does make it a lot easier for that card to stick and get maximum value currently in the meta. I don't know if that'll change after Texas or anything, but
Right.
I definitely think going forward, it'll probably be a card that you see in a lot more Hydra lists just because of the efficient value of being able to recycle your Hydras.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what else is with the list? Um, I guess I'll go over the sideboard. So the
Sure.
sideboard we played three Inescapable Avalanche. Inescapable Avalanche was strictly for the white matchup because the Tiger can't get bounced with Dream Bomb. We mainboarded the
Uh.
four Dream Bomb, just because four Dream Bomb. Setting Dream Bomb in this meta is like really really good, especially as a Hydra player because you're playing the Seabed Lighthouse. So if you have the option to like bouncing their Nexus so they don't have that color presently on board, it's
Mm,
super impactful. So it just turns your seabed into like a monster pretty much because you can dream bomb back two targets. And there was a lot of times to where they would have like a nexus and two bodies. They would swing and hit me, and then I would dream bomb back their other or their other spirit and their nexus. and then I could play Hydra next turn with Seabed out, clear their last
Mm,
guy, and then they can't play any magic cards, so they have to have the Ice Shield set. So just made
Wow.
for like some really smooth play lines.
strengthen the
Also, and the
Hydra, yeah.
sideboard was for like the white matchup, and it kind of for every matchup, more of just like a surprise card was the Cthulhu Shark.
I love Cthulhu
So
Shark.
that was if they like start playing white control and you can't really like clear their board due to just them having like the blue armors and their stuff can't be destroyed during the attack step. I can just play Cthulhu Shark and follow it up with like a deadly balance and then clear the board. Um, Another thing like I did is like when I played against Zach was he knew the cards I was playing because we had went over the list, but he wasn't expecting me to play the Cthulhu Shark. So he was like 5 wide on board and didn't have the Soul Core on anything, and I just dropped
Oh,
Cthulhu Shark and wiped 5 spirits off the board. It just feels like
wow.
really nice, like being able to have that kind of like oh shit button, like here
Yeah.
Yeah,
we go, I need to play this now.
that's exactly what
Um,
that card is. It's like a hard reset to the board.
yeah. The third Beldegor was in the sideboard. Beldegor is like the best card against purple. So purple, like trying to like
Yeah.
kill itself pretty much. Um, when they're playing like doubly deadly and trying to follow it up with like a deadly balance to clear your Hydra, if they kill like a 4 drop, then you can just bring the Beldegor out of the trash and then use that as the deadly balance target. If they're swinging into you, you can like use Beldegor to clear like kind of like their key targets.
Hmm.
So like if you're playing against purple, you can clear like Dragonaga Assassin, you can clear Mirrorcaster or Abortia. I
Yeah,
can clear the Millfrog in blue. I can like it just there's a lot of like relevant cards that Beldegor can hit on its summon. So really good card. I think we were kind of debating between that and a fourth deadly balance, but we thought purple was going to be a little bit more represented, so we went with the Beldegor instead.
that feels
Um,
wise.
so where am I at? There's 2 more cards. There's another Flood Stream. That was just in case we played against aggro, and then Raging Tide as well, and that was mainly in there for like the aggro matchups. There was a decent amount of white aggro, so uh,
Good
there were
call.
some really relevant times where the Raging Tide and Flood Stream came in handy.
Yeah, I think
I
for a
think pretty
minute,
much every.
Raging Tide is going to be in most of my
I
sideboards.
think you have to.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Hmm. Aggro will
pretty
always
much everything
be.
else with the deck. Everything else with the deck seems like is like pretty standard. I think
Hmm.
like strong draws, ice shields, starbless draws. I don't
And
think
then
there
your
was
Hydra
anything like too
packet.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fish
Yeah.
lips,
It's solid.
um,
sapphire. Yeah, it looks fun as hell. I,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
it's a super efficient list. That's what we tried to maximize was efficiency. Just being able to get the Hydra out as quick as possible. Plenty of Nexus targets, and also some removal defensive options as well. So. Overall, I would definitely play it again. I surprisingly, I didn't think I was going to have a lot of fun playing it because it is like pretty linear on what you're trying to do.
sure.
But I actually had like a lot of fun playing it and definitely would like play it again if I had to go to another event.
That's cool.
well, the question that's on everyone's mind, Andrew, is how much did you spend on your mill frogs?
I actually traded for most of mine. So I got my play set. I
Wow.
pulled 2 from going to locals and then
Nice.
traded for a couple. So
Man.
I got lucky, but I did like bling out the Hydra deck. Like I had the World Stream Bombs, the World Star Blast, World
Hell
Strong
yeah.
Draws. Like
Oh man, I
yeah,
need a World's Dream Bomb. I just want one of them. I
Yeah.
haven't been able to get one.
Yeah.
yeah. It was looking pretty. So I was
Hell yeah.
it felt like really nice to like draw it and just be like, ooh, all this sparkly stuff in my hand. Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah. That's the best part.
It feels really bad
But
when all your sparkly stuff gets milled, though.
Yeah.
yes, it does. Speaking of milling, what I guess one more thing about the deck is the deck is really good at switching up your strategy on the blink of an eye. So
Mm,
there's certain
yeah.
matchups to where like if they play like a key card, I'm strictly going to deck you out.
Yep.
But if they're playing like cards that like aren't allowing them to like draw a lot or things like that, then I probably play for the kill. If they're playing trying to play like the longer control game, I can try to like kill you pretty quickly.
Hmm.
But um So shout out to Varrock in the Discord. I played him round two, and yeah, that was an instance of like I just have to like play against you to like mill you out. So I decked him out when he was playing purple. He had like Maduke and Nemesis and like all
Ah.
the fun stuff, and just establish some frogs and go in with Hydra. And sometimes it just does like Hydra things. And I think there was a swing that I milled him like 18 on swing.
Woo.
Oh my
Oh.
gosh.
Ah.
The
Yeah.
the crazy thing about the mill and kill. Oh,
I
we're
love that.
copywriting that. Yeah. The mill and kill strat with Hydra is like it does both at the same time.
Yeah. So it would be,
It's just
yeah, if
insane.
you can build around that pivot, you're right. Yeah, like that's what decks need to be at these higher levels. That's what separates casual from competitive.
Yeah.
Is just,
Two win cons at once.
yeah, like you, Andrew, like you and the people you work with, like it is
Your
so,
associates.
yeah, like your whole team, man. Like, shout out to all of you, because I love having you on here and you explain these choices and you explain the numbers of cards and tech and stuff like that, because it just blows my mind, and the just different level of deck building is just incredible. I think, man, yeah, like all of these look so fun, so consistent, so viable. And obviously, I mean, they're in the top four, so it's really impressive. So I love it.
Yeah, I want to brainstorm with you on a green deck at some point. I want us to build something. It'd be fun.
I'd play
Me and
anything that
Caleb
you could build.
played a green deck at locals last night. Well, Caleb tried to play it, so we have a start on one.
Okay.
That's
But
I have
exciting.
some ideas. I'm not going to share them here because, obviously it's going to win Worlds this year, so I don't want to spill it
no,
yet.
yeah.
That's right.
But this is a cool deck though, man. Oh yeah, I was going to ask, since you mentioned mill versus like straight up killing them, how often was the split, do you think? Like, how often did you mill somebody
Um,
out versus taking all their life cores?
so personally, like I had like a list of set cards to where like I just told myself what the game plan was as soon as I saw that card.
Hmm.
So like when I play against like red players, as soon as they play Volcanic Canyon, it's like,
Yep.
oh, they're just helping me win now, and
Ah,
they don't even realize it. So it's like, yeah, you're gonna go through your deck twice as fast now. I'm just gonna like basically like build up a board that you can't get through. I'll play two frogs, Hydra, swing Milton, and then pop whatever, and you've already been going through your deck twice as fast anyways, let alone when you try to play like Star Blast draw and everything like that. So it's just like, yep, there you go. Like, but if they don't play like Volcanic Canyon, then I can just know that I can try to like kill them pretty quickly until they can like see their answers.
yeah.
Um, Purple, if they establish like usually if they establish like more than one rotting swamp is when I'm like, okay, I can try to mill you here and just try
Yeah.
to play like the long game. Um, and just like different scenarios like that. So it's kind of like a weird standpoint to where like you can really separate yourself on kind of more of like a skill level aspect of your opponent thinks that they're getting the advantage on you by playing cards that's going to let them see their answers, but you're just kind of like big braining them and being like, no, dude, you just helped me win the game.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's a
So it's like,
situation where a card like Amethyst Sanctuary is much better
yeah.
than Volcanic Canyon because you're looking, but you're not pulling it out of the deck. Like you're
hmm
bottoming it if it's not useful for you.
yes, exactly.
Makes sense.
Yeah. But honestly, with the tournament there, I had to go for deck out in like two of the rounds. So
Mhm.
two of the 6 rounds. So about a third of the time.
Okay,
That's
that
great.
sounds about right. That
Yeah.
makes sense.
hmm
Wow. That's super
Well,
fun.
awesome deck, and congrats to Benny from the
Yeah,
Discord
for sure.
getting third place.
We played against each other in round six, so that was my round six matchup at table
Oh
three.
no.
And
Wow.
basically, whoever like wins that one goes to top four, and the mirror match does mirror match things, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
That
exciting.
that's all I'll say about it. If Benny watches this, he knows.
That's awesome.
So second place was an IRA list, but we don't have the list. But Andrew, there was like a specific card from that list that you wanted to mention.
Yeah, so I watched him play against Zach, and it's like a really cool like Ira build. Basically kind of like their own take, and shout out to the Absolute Rice Field team. They all played like a spicy like Nexus in
That's a
each one of their
great
decks.
name, also. Wow.
Oh yeah. So his card specifically that he played in his deck was a Temple of the Sunstone, which
Okay.
I believe is from set 4.
Yes, I
Yeah,
can
I
read it
believe
for
it's
you real
a set
quick.
4 card.
It is a set 4 common, red Nexus, 3 cost 1 reduction. Level 1 and level 2. During opponent's attack step, draw a card when your life is reduced by an attack from one of your opponent's spirits with 3,000 or fewer BP. Then at level 2 for 3 cores, during your attack step, draw a card when an attack from one of your spirits with Ascend reduces your opponent's life.
So this card, like, I didn't think it was like that insane, like when I first saw it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just started thinking of like the interactions behind that card. I was like, oh my God, like this card is insanely good. Um, so it does everything you want it to do in your aggro matchups, right? So every
Yeah.
time they take one of your life, it digs you into your answers quicker. But against matchups to where you're playing like Hydra, where they're trying to like possibly mill you out, a lot of the Hydra spirits swing for more than 4K. So it's like, or
Right.
4K or higher. So you're never like purposely milling yourself out just from playing that card.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a
Mm.
really good point.
So so against like decks like purple and things like this, to where they're kind of hitting you with these little like 2K guys that are like trying to come at you quick, or like white aggro or things like that. Okay, now I can draw into the Burning Force. Now I can draw into my Nova, so I can just heal back up really quick. Like things
Yeah.
like that. So it's insanely good to like just get digging through your deck and finding the answers. Whereas like against Hydra, it's like a good cheap reduction card that I can get on the field and doesn't really hurt me at all. I don't think the level 2 effects like very. Let me look at it. Draw a card from out of your Spirits of the Sin, reduces your opponent's life.
Yeah.
For 3 cores, I mean, I guess it's like kind of like an investment. I didn't see it pop up like too much,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I mean, like if you
I
wipe
mean,
the
you do
board with
play.
Ira and you can walk in that turn, if you're able to, I'd core it up and swing for 2 and
Yeah,
draw a card, I guess. But yeah, that doesn't feel as relevant. But that first passive ability is nuts, actually.
Yeah, it's insanely good. So shout out to them for figuring that out. It
Yeah.
was actually really relevant in that game against Zach, and I think he played the game very skillfully. The Dustworm Drought Dragon turned out to
Great
be a really
card.
good card.
Unbelievable. We've been
He was
testing that a
he was
lot.
playing he was playing Big Bang Energy and
Cool.
Gray serving a Seagworm. So just like multiple ways to cheat out your Star Dragons because you are running kind of that higher end of it.
Yep.
Um,
Very cool.
I have to remember if he was playing Tricera. I can't remember if he was or not, but uh, like there's just like a lot of good red cards that came out for this and a lot of good Star
Yeah.
Dragon support. So insanely good list. Congrats to him. He went into the last round undefeated. So he ended up losing in the finals, but I
Wow.
mean it was
Yeah.
still like really good.
What a run. That's so exciting. I think the red list right now in this meta is so fun. It's converted me to even testing red, just
Mhm.
because of how much it can do and how much it can keep up with the other heavy hitters in blue and purple. So love to see that it got second place, and love that little tech in the Nexus slot there with Temple of the Sunstone.
Do you happen to remember that person's name? Was it is it Yami? Because
Yeah,
I
it's
believe.
Yami.
Oh,
Yeah,
he was the winner from the Battle Spirits Tensei community tournament.
that's
That was him.
right. That's right.
Yeah. Very cool.
That's
Yeah, his
awesome.
yeah, we saw him play that same deck in that tournament. He didn't want to share the list. I was just wondering because he didn't want to share the list because he was like, "This is my secret tech for
Yeah,
Texas."
yeah,
So
and
it
it
makes sense. It worked
it
out in his
worked.
favor.
That's awesome. Well, yeah, congrats again to Yami.
Yeah.
Incredible. And that will lead us into the first place deck, Texas Smag by JD.
Yeah. I put this together. He posted the text file in Aspira's Discord, so I just
Very
made
cool.
this. So he did not call it this.
Right.
Could you imagine the confidence going into a tournament?
Yeah.
This is JD's first place Texas Smag.
I love that Rainbow is still so relevant and fun and powerful. Like we talked about the Rainbow, set 4 changes, right? Either last week or the week before. Ostruera or Astrara specifically, but this has Manticore and Astrara, and that's super fun.
We saw that once before in one of the lists from Sydney.
Yes,
and
that's right.
I was questioning that because I was like, I remember Caleb when he was talking about how to improve the Smag list from Worlds, he was saying maybe we swap out Manticore for Astrara, but then here we see both of them in here. So I guess we just more ramp is good ramp,
Absolutely. Yeah, and in different ways too, which is neat here. Yeah, like again,
you want to go over this list, Cam?
Sure. I mean, I'll yeah, it's pretty good. You've got the 2 Beldegors here. It's 4 Manticores and 4 Astrars, like we're talking about. 4 Smag, 4 Alron, 4 Andromeda, 2 Drought Dragons, 3 Elephants, 2 Novas, 2 Iras. And then your spells are what you'd expect. Deadly Balance at 3, 2 Strong Draws, 4 Ice Shields, 4 Star Blessed, 4 Burning Force, 4 Dream Bomb. It's just like, here's a pile of all the best cards from all the best colors right now in a very cohesive way. Your sideboard is 2 Derm Dynas, another Elephant, 2 Avalanches, 2 Counter Swords, and 3 Flood Streams. Like, yeah, it makes sense that Rainbow wins and is topping really well. Like we talked about, it's that versatility. It's being able to pivot mid-game instead of having to pivot between rounds. It's such amazing foresight and composition here, because you really do. You just round everything out. There's not a Nexus in sight, so you don't have to worry about destruction. And it just ramps so well with the green cards that, and the Elephant, that you don't really necessarily need the reduction sitting on the field, but you have Smag, which can reduce into anything. So it gets around the lighthouse. It just looks really fun and really solid.
Yeah. It's also a 52 card list, so I wonder.
Oh yeah, it is.
If I was kind of thinking, I wonder if the Beldegor was kind of what Andrew was talking about earlier about how it's good into purple, it's good into a lot of things right now. Like, I wonder if maybe that was kind of like, well, I need these 2 Beldegors. Like, I'm willing to go up to 52 just to fit those in.
So from what I heard him say while I was at the event, it was pretty much just like a rebranded Worlds deck.
Yeah.
He hasn't got to play very much, so he's a very talented player. I believe he's got like 1 or 2 tops before, but he just said like he hasn't got the chance to play set 4 too much, so he just took the Worlds deck and made like some adjustments for set 4 cards.
That's so cool,
I
because you're familiar with
I
most
think
of
it worked out.
Because there are what, 3 set 4 cards? The Drought Dragon, Astrara, and Ira.
There's a couple.
That's awesome.
I mean, I think it worked out pretty well.
I want to give a shout out here to Main Deck Masters.
Yes.
I promise. They made a video about how, I believe it was them, made a video about how Deadly Balance is like one of the best cards in the meta right now.
Yeah.
And I think they were spot on, because I'm seeing it across the board. I can see how it's really good. And I wanted to shout them out because when they made that video, I immediately went and bought the rest of my SPRs, and I'm really glad I did, because now I have a full play set of SPR Deadly Balance.
Yeah, I need to get on that.
Even though I love the original art on Deadly Balance, honestly.
That is good, but the SPR is just so freaking crisp.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a lot else to say about this.
I mean, we built the Worlds deck, right? That Caleb piloted. So there's a lot of kind of like that standard feel to it. There were like a few things, like me and Caleb like built that list yesterday, and we're like testing against it just to kind of like see how it felt. And like there's a few things that I'm like, maybe it could have been different. It won, so I can't say anything bad about it, right? But
right.
like maybe like with the Beldegor, maybe you play like the Heaven's Cloak Butterfly instead of like the Matin Goal or something like that. But
Yeah.
I get what he was going for, mainly just like more turn one plays. But um, I think that was probably just more comfortable to his play style, just understanding like if I do get stuck going first, I will have something that I can just put down and play.
Yeah.
So I get it. But I all in all, like congrats to him, like being able to pilot that deck in a field of very toxic things for the ramp deck because playing against like white aggro and I'm sure Hydra probably wasn't a fun matchup for that deck either.
Yeah.
Like congrats to him. I don't know
Yeah.
what his Swiss bracket looked like, but
I was just thinking, like, what do you side out against Hydra? You probably side out the elephants.
potentially. But sometimes the elephant is like what you need to like put yourself back in the game.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
you're playing things like if you have like the Beldegors and stuff, you can just like pop one of your like little 3-drop ramp guys and just mill three, and then use the elephant to like ramp you three and draw you three, but block the attack.
Yep.
Especially if your elephant
Okay.
gets to 10k, like you're threatening the trade with the Hydra at level two.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
their Hydra
Yeah.
has to be like level three to get over the elephant. So it's pretty relevant in some
Yeah.
scenarios.
Maybe also you flash in a strong draw for a little surprise there
Boost.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
get over. That's
Yeah.
Hmm.
interesting.
Strong draw I always forget that strong draw has that flash ability of gaining 3,000, but that is definitely not nothing. That's a good number.
Hmm.
Yeah. The I really want to play around more with the Drought Dragon. I think that card is really good, and I
I've had
think it
such a
belongs.
blast playing that card.
I think it belongs in a lot of decks that it, even like I think Rainbow, it really belongs in Rainbow for sure. But
Yeah.
I think I could see myself playing this in like a green deck or a purple deck or
Yeah.
just about anything, just because of when you're down to 3 life, it just costs you 3.
3.
So
Easy
and it
for
has
easy.
like almost a volcanic break on it,
Yeah.
and Andrew, to your point, a lot of the key spirits we see right now have like 4K BP.
Yep.
Tends to be like a number I see a lot. So
Like, I mean,
Yep,
think
4K
about it.
is like pretty relevant right now.
Ira at
Yeah.
level 1 has 5k, and Drought Dragon can come in and answer. Like, if they were greedy or just going turbo and don't think you have the answer, especially if
Yeah.
they don't, like, if you're not playing full red, but you still have the Drought Dragon somewhere in your deck. Like, you have to remember that Drought Dragon exists right now in the current meta, is, I guess, what I'm trying to say. Nova also
Yeah.
dies at level 1 to Drought Dragon.
Yeah.
I've popped Alron a lot of times because Alron tends to stick around level 2 at 3 cores for 5,000,
Yeah.
and Drought Dragon comes in and just gets rid of it. It's a great set 4 card. So those
And
little
Nebula
modern
Star
touches,
Dragon Andromeda.
just a
The
classic.
Nebula Dragon Andromeda. Yeah, it's just it's just good.
It's just good.
I remember we were playtesting in a room. And I think it was Caleb. Was like, I was trying to improve one of my decks, and he was basically like, it needs Andromeda, but it wasn't even a red deck. I think it was a green deck, and he was like, you need Andromeda, and then it was just like, yeah, it's just a good card.
It's a great card.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll
Hype
see.
train. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but the train's
Oh yeah, we
rolling
definitely
on
can.
by. Yeah,
Hype
okay.
train.
Hype train
Well-
for Andromeda.
I think that's pretty much it. Anything else you want to add about Texas? I know a lot of people love to hear about the food. Did you have any really good food while you were there?
Yeah. So, I'm a slut for chicken parmesan, so I had Italian a few
Andrew!
times there.
Yes! It's like one of my favorite foods, man.
That might be the title of this episode.
Slut for chicken parmesan.
The YouTube algorithm hates it when we make titles like that, though.
Yeah.
It's okay. Uh, I have no shame. Um, so yeah, I had Italian a couple times in the matter of like 3 days. So judge me if you
Ooh.
want. Oh well. We also went to a place called Terry Black's. If you are any sort of barbecue enthusiast,
I've heard
um,
of that place.
Yeah.
yeah, Terry Black's is the place to go. It was insanely good. So 10 out of 10 recommend. It's like a cafeteria style
Oh,
barbecue
yes.
restaurant.
Let's
So
go.
like you walk in and you like go in the line. You have like all your drinks like kind of spread out so you can get like a beer or a soda or like anything like in a bottle. and then you walk up and you do your sides first. So they have them like all ready to go, and it's like tubs like this big of like mac and cheese. I'm
Oh.
sure you can't tell from YouTube, but it's very big. And then like you can get like coleslaw, cornbread, like baked
Oh.
beans, just like all the good stuff. And then
I'm
like
looking
you
at
go
pictures right
over
now.
and
Oh.
they
Looks amazing.
you like pick out your meat and they cut it, or it's basically like sold like by the pound. That's how they price it out. So we got beef brisket and turkey because the dude was like hyping it up. He was like, "Dude, this is the best turkey you'll ever get." And we're like, "Oh yeah, whatever." So he cuts us off these like two slabs of turkey, and they're like massive. Like, okay, and then like a bunch of brisket, and like it's like after you like get your food, you can go over, and all the sauces are like at the table, but they have like these little dispensers where you can get out like pieces of bread and you can like
Wow.
make your own like sandwich and
Oh
stuff.
my
So
Bread
gosh.
dispensers?
and then like obviously like you can get like fountain drinks. You don't have to get like the bottle drinks and stuff. But dude, it was just so good. Like I
Wow.
was highly impressed.
Sounds
We also
amazing.
we went to like northern Dallas and we went to this place that's called Pop Stroke. It's
Okay.
Tiger Woods' mini golf place.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
And I've like played like mini golf and stuff. Like it's kind of like bumping it off the rails and stuff. Well, this is like supposed to be designed like an actual like golf course. So like if you hit it in like what they would consider like the sand and stuff, like there, it's like thicker carpet and like super hard to get
Oh,
out of, and like
Oh
you can't
gosh.
like bank it off the wall and stuff. But it was like super nice. So
that's fun. That sounds really
Yeah.
cool.
there's a lot of cool places. But
Did
and then
you
shout out to Benny. He took me to a IFL game.
Oh,
IFL,
indoor?
yeah, indoor football league.
That's so fun.
So it was probably like one of the craziest things I've just like ever kind of like randomly went to. Like the field is like 50 yards long and they kick off from like end zone to end zone, but you just see dudes like it's like hockey but football.
Yeah,
You see
it's a
dudes like getting crushed
blast.
in between like somebody and a wall. Like
Oh my gosh.
people like basically going like flipping like their head over heels pretty much like over the wall like trying to like catch shit. Like it was just crazy. But me, Zach, and Benny went to that, and it was like really fun. So
That's so
Hell
yeah,
yeah.
cool.
there's a lot of cool stuff to do in Texas. So if
Was
anyone needs
everything
any
bigger there?
recommendations, everything is a little bigger.
Oh, okay. I mean, yeah, the
I took a
turkey.
leak in the
Yeah.
morning, and I was surprised to see. No, I'm just kidding. But,
You're like, it worked.
I'm never
It
leaving.
worked."
No.
Did you buy a cowboy hat?
No, I did not buy a cowboy
okay.
hat. Unfortunately, I need to get a belt buckle for the next time I go. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a wet owl trademarked belt buckle. So
You should get one that
that'll
just
be
says BSS on it.
Yeah,
it's not a bad idea.
that'd be pretty dope. Or like put your metal soul core in the middle of one.
Yes.
There you
Bling
go.
out the outside of it. That'd be sick as hell.
You should spell BSS in metal soul
In
cores
metal soul
all around.
cores. Yeah.
I have to get a lot better at this game if I want to do that.
I'm still looking for my first metal soul core. So
Yeah, I haven't gotten mine either. Maybe this year at Gen Con.
maybe
Who
this
knows?
year, maybe online even.
Maybe online.
We got to practice some more, man.
We do, because that's coming up.
Yeah, that's coming up very
mean,
soon.
Well, just let me know. I will practice some games. I have to come up with a fun deck to play because I will be in Chicago as well. So
Yeah, man.
Well, let's
It's,
perfect this green deck and let's do it.
Yeah.
there we go.
Green, I think, is the sleeper hit from this meta.
Oh.
Green and yellow, for some reason, people still aren't trusting in the power of unblockable Hundun and Genbu, but we can always get into that at a future date. But yeah. Well, cool, man. Great time. Always a pleasure to have you on, Andrew. Seriously, we really enjoy having you here, and I'm sure all the listeners out there do too. Keep up with all of us on the Absolute BSS Discord. Link, as always, is in the description of this podcast episode that you're listening to, or the YouTube video that you're watching right now. You can also email us with any questions, inquiries, hate mail at absolutebsspod@gmail.com. And be sure to look around the YouTube channel. We have some fun videos up. We've got Hungry Hippocampos, the podcast videos, obviously. some gameplay here and there, some Dragon Ball. It's not just BSS, it's other games too, some Keyforge stuff. So while you're here, give us a like and subscribe if you want to, so you don't miss any more videos. And yeah, some fun stuff down the pipeline, actually. I don't know how much we want to talk about it, but
probably not much at all, but we do have some fun planned.
Yeah, we have some stuff in the pipeline. Yeah, that was me asking, basically.
Yeah.
So cool. Eric's like, no.
It's not like we have like investors and
right.
private or anything, but you know,
but it's
I just
nice
think it'll be more
tease.
fun if they find out organically.
Yeah. We
so I hope you feel teased.
Yeah.
Do you feel teased, Andrew?
Do you feel teased?
I'm edging right now, actually.
Perfect. That's exactly what we want our audience to feel like as well. So.
Yes.
I hope you're sitting on the edge of your seat,
listening to this in your goon cave.
Yeah. Anybody you want to shout out? Anything you want to say, Andrew, before we close this out?
Yep. Shout out to all the boys that I tested with going into Texas. And they got me the PT invite. I got a couple other goodies too that I will talk about at a later date. But we had a good time. I tested a little bit with like the EU boys. So shout out the Nexus
Cool.
podcast. I texted
Hell
with like
yeah.
Emiliano and talked to Kieran about some things as well. And then oh, by the way, Kieran, I'm still calling you out. So if you are watching this, that's all you need to know.
Boy.
Oh.
But no, also like shout out Dango and everyone, Tyler, Caleb, Zach, just everyone helping build the list. Even Alex Blandon. I will give a shout out to Alex Blandon because he was a part of like helping me test and play at the start of this. He wasn't able to make it to Texas, unfortunately, but he did have a part in this. So
Awesome.
also shout out to the Bulldog guys who went out to Texas. I
That's
know
right.
it wasn't the best of times at the tournament, but we got Chicago to prepare for, so I'll be helping them out and trying to get them prepared so we can get everyone their Pro Tour invite and have basically a glorified locals of Pro Tour. So
Hell yeah.
Love it. Yeah. Super excited for what comes next in the competitive season. Chicago, the Grand Tour in the first wave in the States here. And yeah, maybe we'll see some Grand Tour action at Gen Con, but very anxiously awaiting some more OP news, of course, there. But yeah, next thing being, for me anyway, the online webcam tournament, May 3rd. Very excited for that.
So to be super clear, we don't actually know anything about Gen Con.
Right, yeah.
We're not dropping any kind of news. We don't don't know it. We don't know shit. This is us hoping and praying
copium
to pop a Bandai.
Yeah. But anyway, we'll cover wherever it's going to be, and hopefully we'll get out there. So thank you all for joining us this week. Once again, thank you, Andrew, for being on. And we'll be back next week with another episode. Until then, be good to yourselves, be good to one another. Have fun playing Battle Spirit Saga and all your other card games. We'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Later.